The Trans Mountain Pipeline has been switched on again and will begin moving crude oil and gas from Alberta to the west coast. It was shut down 3 weeks ago as a precaution when severe weather caused catastrophic flooding and landslides. That triggered gas rationing on the south coast of BC. And as Robin Gill reports, it's going to stay in place for a while yet.
The Trans Mountain Pipeline is a critical piece of infrastructure in Western Canada. The restart button has been cautiously pushed to get the oil flowing.
This will not be an immediate fix, and it will take some time to resume normal operations.
The pipeline normally ships 300,000 barrels of oil per day from Alberta to British Columbia for use here and in Washington state and to export overseas. But the floods 3 weeks ago forced TMX to shut it down to check for any leaks or breaks. That had a domino effect on the refineries. With no oil coming in, no gas went out.
I would be surprised if they hadn't drawn down their reserves to close to nothing, especially as they had to shut down the refinery.
That has trickled down to drivers. The province limited each fill-up to 30 litres. At first, it sparked panic at the pumps. Then something interesting happened at gas stations. When the rationing first started, the average price of regular fuel was $1.62 per litre. But it started dropping, and at one point in December, it was $1.53. Gas price watchers attribute it to British Columbians quickly appreciating the reality of the crisis.
There was no gouging. There was no profiteering. There was instead a concerted effort to everyone looking after everyone's interests.
The situation may serve as a lesson for the province to start storing greater reserves in case of future emergencies, like earthquakes.
It's significant because when we are looking at the supplies, we only have that much product stored, and eventually we'll run out of it. And luckily, we have avoided disaster.
The pipeline will take at least a week before it's back operating at 100%. Then it'll take more time for the refinery to ramp back up. So that still leaves limits on how much gas drivers can get, at least until December 14th. Robin Gill, Global News, Vancouver.
In the coming weeks, many of us will be home for the holidays. In parts of British Columbia, that's going to be difficult, if not impossible. After being forced out by flooding and weeks of extreme weather, people in Merritt are returning to a community in need of a multitude of repairs. Mike Drolet reports.
They may have hoped for the best when they were forced to leave everything behind 3 weeks ago, but the residents of Merritt, BC knew deep down they'd be returning to a changed city. And when they entered their homes, they barely recognized them for what they were.
I just got back this weekend, and everything was frozen. There was mud at the bottom of the stairs, and I couldn't even shovel that.
The damage to this south central city was extensive. Roads and bridges were wiped out, the water and sewage stopped working, and the hospital was shut down. The city, as officials so bluntly put it, wasn't safe. Yet residents were eager to return, because water damage compounds over time.
You want to be in here right away, just to get all the water and moisture out so you don't get mold in behind the walls.
It's fair to say residents from the Fraser Valley up into the interior could use a break or two, but winter isn't really helping. The snow may look nice, but it's a superficial mask to problems that won't go away. The one intractable fact is the scope of the disaster. There's only so many electricians or plumbers or construction workers, especially for more remote communities. And there's certainly not enough to help everyone in a hurry.
I've had no information. I don't even know if my water's on or off. I don't know how to get a hold of anybody to get the water off if it is on. You know, I mean, if the pipe's burst and then it thaws again, then I'll have more water in my basement.
And how can they not be frustrated? The city has deemed 366 homes unlivable, a number that is almost certain to rise. The flood of 2021 may be seeing its waters drain out of Merritt, but the good people who live there still feel like they're underwater. Mike Drolet, Global News.